Okay, before we're able to work some geometry problems, we're going to have to know how to solve what's called linear equations. Now, linear equations, notice there's no x squareds or x thirds or square roots or anything like that. That's what we mean by linear equations. So our main purpose, always remember this, our main purpose when solving equations, first off, is we've got to get all of our like terms together. So the rule is, first off, notice how many terms we have here. We have 3 terms. And the rule is that anytime I'm going to move a term to the other side of an equal sign, if I want to move plus 5 over here with a 20, all I've got to do is change its sign. If it's plus, I change it to minus. If it's minus, I change it to plus. So in order to combine like terms, I'm going to mark out plus 5. And in order to move it over here with 20, I'm going to simply do minus 5. I now have 3x equals 20 minus 5 is 15. Now, after you do that, your last step is always going to be, in order to get x by itself, we got to get rid of this 3 that's in front of it. Anytime you have a number next to a variable, they're being multiplied. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it out. I'm going to do the opposite of that to move it over. Again, I'm moving it from the left side of the equal sign to the right side. To move times 3, I'm going to simply do divided by 3. That 3 is now gone, and it gives me x is equal to a total of 15 divided by 3, or 5. Now, we can move these like terms more than one at a time, and it doesn't matter which side we put them on, as long as we remember this. If I put my x's on one side of the equal sign, I put my numbers on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I have 4 terms here. I'm going to scribble out my 2x because I'm going to move it. Notice it's a positive 2x, so when I move it to the other side, I'm simply doing minus 2x. The 3 is a negative 3. When I move it, I want to put it on the other side away from the x's. To move a minus 3, I'm simply going to do plus 3. Now look how much cleaner my equation is. 4x's minus 2x's is 2x's. Put the equal sign straight down. 9 and 3 gives you 12. And again, since these are being multiplied, my last step is always get rid of it by dividing. So x is going to equal 12 divided by 2, or 6. Now sometimes you might have to deal with parentheses. Very simple. Before I can combine like terms, let's use distributive property to get rid of that parentheses. 5 times x and 5 times 2 gives me 5x minus 10 equals 3x plus 6. Again, it doesn't matter which side you put your x's on. I'm scribbling out my 3x's, so I don't have to deal with negatives and moving it over here. I'm scribbling out my minus 10 and doing plus 10, and I have a total of 2x equals 16. To get rid of times 2, I divide by 2, so x must equal 8. And just to show you, it doesn't matter how many parentheses, how many terms you have, it's just as easy. I'm going to do 5 times both things in parentheses. That's going to give me 10x minus 15. Negative 4 times both things gives me a negative 12x and a negative 4. Be cautious of the signs. Negative times positive, negative times positive. 3 times everything in parentheses would be 12x minus 15, and just bring down your plus 2. Then we're doing the exact same thing. Let's put all of our x's together. Does not matter where you put them. I'm going to mark out my 12x, and I'm going to move it over here by doing minus 12x. Now notice here, this minus 12x is not moving across the equal sign. So when you move it over here with these other x's, do not change its sign. Let me repeat, do not change the signs there. To get rid of minus 15, move it to the other side by doing plus 15. To get rid of minus 4, I'm going to do plus 4. And again, that plus 2 is already over here, so I'm just going to put it in the list with the other ones. That gives me a total of negative 14 x's. Bring the equal sign down. Negative 15 and 15 are actually opposite, so they cancel. It gives you 6. Last step, in order to get the x by itself, since these are being multiplied, I'm going to divide by negative 14, and I like to put my negative out front. So x is equal to negative 6/14, which needs to be reduced to negative 3/7. Now, solving literal equations or solving formulas works the exact same way, and I feel like it's pretty easy using the shortcuts I showed you in the previous one. Notice here they're going to bold the one that they want you to get by itself. So the first thing we're going to do is, in order to get m by itself, removing any terms over that we can. Remember that to move a term over, if it's plus, change it to minus. If it's minus, change it to a plus. So step number 1, we're going to scribble out the plus b, move it to the other side by doing minus b. Again, we're trying to get m by itself, so do the same thing. Except for here, you don't have numbers you're going to have to combine, so it's a little bit easier. Since these are being multiplied, I'm going to mark out times x, come to the other side and divide by x. So now you know that m is equal to y minus b. divided by x. Now this next one's a little bit tricky because I want to remind you about dividing by fractions. To divide fractions, you have to flip the second one and multiply, if you don't remember that. Very important on this problem, because the very first thing with this problem, since these two things, since that 1/2 has been multiplied by the rest of this stuff, I like to scribble it out. And I'm going to go to the other side, and I'm going to divide by 1/2. Dividing by 1/2 is the same thing as flipping it and multiplying by 2. So therefore, I change my 1/2 into times 2. Next step, you can very easily get rid of the h, because it's also being multiplied by this stuff in parentheses. So why not just come over here and divide by it? Now, in order to get a by itself, all you've got to do is move that b over. It's a term now by itself. We can simply do minus b, and that's going to equal the little a there. So a is equal to 2a over h minus b.